Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nash, and for today's video we're gonna sit down, chit chat, and talk all things budget. So basically I'm gonna be breaking down and simplifying how I put my budget together and the top 4 categories that I use to make this as simple and straightforward when I sit down to crunch the numbers. So if that's something you're interested in, keep on watching. So when I sit down to write my budget, I realized from the start of this year, I've been using 4 major categories that help me realistically set myself up for the month. We have bills, we have lifestyle, we have savings, and we have specials. The first thing that I do before I even start to tell my money where it goes is actually figure out realistically how much money I expect to make for that month. And if this is your first time kind of putting together a budget and you're unsure, what I would recommend is taking the last 3 months of income. So all of the money that you've actually made for those 3 months and take the average. And once you add those up, you divide by 3, and that gives you your average income for the last 3 months. That leads us into actually dividing up all the money. So first, I always tackle bills. I like to make sure my bills are all set. My tithe, my rent, my phone bill, my car payment, and I also account for my phone, the Wi-Fi for my apartment, the electric bill. Those are all examples of different bills. For some people, it may be a little bit different. So once you allocate all the money that you have for your bills, what I recommend is, what I do is I always like to know how much money I'm working with for the next category. So I'll take whatever my total amount for bills is and subtract it from the total income. Whatever's remaining is what I know I have for the next 3 categories. So then we enter lifestyle. And the reason why I named it this is because this is the money I need to pay for the lifestyle that I have. My gas for my car, food for my fridge when I eat out, my entertainment money if I go to the movies, if I go bowling, and those are just a couple examples. So once I figure out everything that I need for my lifestyle category, what I do is again subtract the remaining money I have to work with from the total lifestyle, and then I end up with the remaining amount left, which will fund savings and specials. So now we enter into savings. So for my savings, the way I kind of break this category up in my brain is under this falls all of the long-term savings, or a lot of people call them sinking funds. I just split up my sinking funds between savings and specials, and I'll explain it in a second. So under my long-term savings, we have my emergency fund, we have my house down payment, we have Christmas, we have my car maintenance fund, those kind of things. Stuff that I'm saving for the future, but I won't be using in the near future. So once I figure out how much I want to contribute in those categories, what I do is subtract the last of the remaining amount, and I end up with what can fall under my specials. Now we enter into the last category, which is the newest category for this year that honestly was the missing piece to my budget: specials. So this basically is the categories in my budget that aren't a sinking fund but are still a short-term savings goal. So what I do is anything that's coming up in the near future, whether that month or in the upcoming months, I want to make sure that I start to put money aside for it. So for example, some of the subcategories that have fallen under this main category is gifts, it's travel, clothing. For example, like some months are a lot more busy for me in the aspect of birthdays or weddings or celebrations, and the same goes for travel. When I have a trip coming up, I'm more mindful of saving up money for that trip, and then after the trip, I'm not really saving as aggressively. And in clothing, if I have a sinking fund for clothing, it's not gonna last because I know the money's there and then I'm just gonna wanna go shopping. So I try to be mindful of when maybe the seasons change or I have something specific coming up that I may need a new piece for that I can save up for it a little bit more rapidly to get it in the near future. So that's where the last chunk of money ends up going. And the reason why I say the last chunk is because I'm a zero-based budgeter. So what that means is I give every single dollar a home. All of the categories and the subcategories total up to the full income that I have. So I'm curious, now that you've had a glimpse into my brain and how I actually break down my budget each month, is it something that you can see yourself doing yourself? So that's exactly how I basically break down my budget for each month and exactly what I'll be doing for the month of May. So I'm very excited to crunch the numbers and see how well I can do this upcoming month and continue to work towards my goals, because that is the ultimate goal, to reach the goals that I set myself up for the beginning of the year, and I'm trying my best to get there. 1 month at a time, 1 paycheck at a time. So if you haven't already, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Join the family and please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.